He said it with pride, like a man announcing victory. "I made a major business move while you were away," he told me, swirling whiskey in his glass, a smug half-smile cutting across his face. When I asked what investment he meant, he didn't flinch. "I sold your jewelry," he said. "Every piece of it. They funded my empire." For a second, I thought I'd misheard. Then I saw it, the arrogance in his eyes, the satisfaction of conquest. He expected me to cry. Instead, I laughed, because the jewelry he sold wasn't what he thought it was. When I first met Daniel, he had nothing but charm and ambition. I mistook both for substance. He said he wanted to build an empire. I thought he meant for us. I believed in him the way a fool believes in fortune cookies. Every word felt like a promise. He used to trace the diamonds around my neck and called them symbols of our future. I didn't realize he was only counting their worth. Years passed, and I became his quiet foundation, the silent investor, the emotional accountant. Every deal he made had my fingerprints on it. Every success, a piece of my sacrifice. But empires built on deceit always rot from within. It started small, missing invoices, new passwords, and that strange secretive smile he wore when I entered the room. Then the maid mentioned something. A man from a pawn shop came by while I was gone, twice. I didn't confront him, not yet. Instead, I opened the vault, the one only we knew the code to. My grandmother's emeralds, my mother's ruby set, the sapphire earrings I wore on our wedding night. All gone. And still, I didn't cry, because crying meant weakness, and weakness was what he was counting on. I stayed quiet that night, watched him sleep beside me, his breathing deep, careless. He had no idea I'd been preparing for this. Not revenge, not yet, but protection. See, 6 months earlier, I'd switched out my real jewelry with perfect replicas, insured the originals, and stored them under my own name, in my own vault, far from his reach. He had sold glass and gold-plated illusions, and I had the paperwork to prove it. But I wasn't done. A simple gotcha wouldn't do justice. He needed to lose everything the way he made me feel I had. So I waited, listened, collected data. He was laundering money through his new company, using my supposed jewelry funds as seed capital. I sent a quiet email to the Financial Crimes Unit, anonymously, of course. Then I called his silent partner, the one he'd been cheating in business as well as me, and showed him exactly where Daniel hid the money. Within weeks, the cracks appeared, accounts frozen, auditors knocking. His empire, the one funded by my jewelry, started collapsing under the weight of his own lies. I didn't leave right away. No, I stayed long enough to watch him unravel. He stopped sleeping, started drinking more. And when he begged me to help fix it, I simply smiled. "I thought it was your empire, Daniel," I said. "You built it yourself, didn't you?" He didn't know that while his assets froze, mine grew. The insurance on the stolen jewels had cleared weeks earlier, into an account he didn't know existed. Every piece of my past pain had already been converted into my future freedom. When the investigators arrived, I stood by the door, calm, collected. He looked at me as they led him away, confusion and fear mixing in his eyes. "Did you know about this?" he asked. I met his gaze, steady. "I warned you once," I said softly. "Not everything that shines is yours to sell." He opened his mouth to speak, but the officers cut him off. The door closed behind him. I poured myself a drink, his whiskey from his crystal glass, and looked around the house that suddenly felt mine again. The silence wasn't heavy anymore. It was peaceful. He thought he sold my jewels to build his empire. But in truth, I'd used his greed to build my escape. Now, every time I open my jewelry box, the real pieces still sparkle, untouched, untarnished, reminders not of what he took, but of what I reclaimed. And that, I suppose, was my major business move.